really for the last 2 days, you've been talking about this particular player as a guy that you thought would be a perfect fit on the Houston Texans. We and I, when we talked about cut day and guys who would be cut that would fit, I had Tyler Johnson, and you know what? They did it. They went, they claimed him, they got him on waivers. You had O.J. Howard.
I did.
And there was a report not even an hour after he got released that he was going to meet with the Bengals. They were doing a physical, and that deal was a done deal. And then last night, not so much. Turns out the Bengals had put in a claim on Matt Asiasi and were awarded him. They didn't think they were going to get him because their waiver claim was 31. So
do they do Avi when he? Oh no, that's a different sport. My bad.
So they didn't think they were going to get him because their waiver priority was so low. They got him. They welched on the deal with O.J. Howard, who then wound up right here in Houston, Texas, and signing with the Texans. So, Guy, you had identified as, hey, this guy would be perfect. Well, he's here.
We nailed it. Both of us nailed it. I thought they might get up to 5 guys that they were going to bring in based on what they did with the cuts. Obviously, they didn't go with another running back because they just signed Marlon Mack in a very strange turn of circumstances to the practice squad. But I think they upgraded the roster yet again. And the reason why I was so adamant, much like you were with the receiver group, just because of the fact that you knew you needed a third receiver, and each week of the preseason, it looked like someone else was trying to step up, but they never solidified the position. For me, tight end was a lost position group the entire training camp, and everybody knew it was almost a joke because they haven't been able to address it yet. They didn't do anything to upgrade it. And when I saw Howard's name cross the waiver wire early, like really early in cuts when Buffalo let him go, it just seemed to me the way we've been talking about how this Texans front office is operating and their modus operandi in terms of last year it was just getting older guys on a 1-year deal at a very cheap rate. Now it was more like look for that fit. Look for that guy that in his first opportunity, the systematically or otherwise just wasn't a fit. It's not anything to do with the player. He wasn't severely injured. It was like when Travis Johnson got drafted here instead of the Bengals, and he'll tell you, like, if he had been a first-round pick, one pick the other way, and gone to Cincinnati, his career might have been totally different because the system was one he'd played his entire career, unlike the one he had never played here in Houston. The fact that you get this guy, and it's the same reason when I looked at Leatherwood, when he comes from Alabama, when he comes from the pedigree, when he had the college career that he had, and you know that he's had opportunities, and I saw some guys because there were people doing much what you did, and I appreciate you for doing what you did, saying, hey, you've been saying this for a while. They were like, hey, great call. I'm a Tampa fan. The thing is, he was hurt a year or so ago. When he started, he was really good, and then he was coming off injury. Hope he turns out for you guys. This is exactly what you need to do with the Texans. You got a young guy trying to reprove himself, a guy that, like I said, has the ability and has the reputation, and he's young enough in his career that if you can get him in and start getting him to work, it's not going to take all that long to get him acclimated, get him on the field. And you think just basically if he does anything close to what he's done even in his NFL career, he's an upgrade over what you have on the roster. Hey guys, back to the video in just 1 minute. Before that, I want to tell you about Fitz Roofing. If you got a leaky roof or need a full roof replacement on your business or your home, or you want to get something done around the yard or maybe something around the house, they have the best warranties in the business, the best ratings, and the best service. They're going to take care of you every step of the way. Fitz Roofing, making a difference, one home at a time.
Now, he's 27 years old. He's going into his 6th season. In his first 2 years, he had 11 touchdowns and about 1,000 yards combined receiving, which if you could get a Texans tight end with 500 yards and 6 touchdowns in a season, I don't think they've had that since Owen Daniels was here. So that I know that he was supposed to be a star when he was drafted. He was taken with the 19th overall pick. People thought he was going to be a perennial All-Pro, and he never became that guy. That doesn't mean that he stinks. It just means he wasn't a superstar.
Well, think about it, too. When he was in Tampa, he was the guy they were grooming for the job. He was the guy that was going to be part of this next generation of Buccaneers. And then Brady walked in the door. And Brady said, oh, by the way, I'm not coming by myself. I'm bringing a guy named Gronkowski. And when Gronkowski walks in the door, too, now you're being pushed down the depth chart. Now your abilities, and you're going to be limited in terms of your ability to shine.
No, and instead of sharing time with Cam Brate, now you're sharing time with Cam Brate for the the scraps of whatever's left over from Gronk.
Right.
And yeah, so he was very sparingly used over the last 2 seasons. So, the bad part about that is you haven't really seen what he could do over the last couple of years. The good part about that is he hasn't had a whole lot of wear and tear on him. So a guy who has shown the ability, he's a big target, he's a red zone target. And if nothing else, if he's a guy who can be a move the sticks or a red zone guy, maybe you're not using him all the time, but on third down, he's a big wide target that you can be like, okay, just get 3 yards behind the line and, turn around. So I think that, and look, I think he's certainly the best tight end on the team the moment he signs, regardless of who's there. He's still the best tight end on the team. That's how bad that position group was. And, look, Nick Caserio has found ways to improve the tight end room, to improve the wide receiver room, and gave up nothing.
Nothing. That's the beauty of all of this. This is again Caserio following his own plan and going from year one, like I said, with older 1-year contract, short-term deals, short money deals, to going to the next step and the next phase, which is getting those younger players that maybe got the wrong fit in the first situation, but could still help a team, not having to give up any kind of assets or draft capital to better your roster for this season. And the fact that you already knew because of the draft your roster was going to be better than a year ago, but then you see what they've done just now. You saw some of the smart free agents that they brought in yet again, and you look at this and go, the plan is working. The plan is in place. He's sticking to the plan, and I like where this team is going thanks to Nick Caserio.